You all know this video was coming, so don't act surprised. This guy wants everybody who becomes available. Kind of. I kind of do. When I see an opportunity for my team to get better, yes, I want everybody that could potentially make that happen. What am I talking about? In a surprise move, nobody, and I mean no one, saw this coming. All right. Indianapolis Colts is on the thumbnail, so it's not a surprise. Indianapolis Colts linebacker Darius Shaquille Leonard, also known as Shaq Leonard, has been waived by the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this happened exactly 1/2 hour ago. Now, we signed the Land Before Time, Bruce Irvin, and I'm sorry, y'all. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to apologize for the way that I feel because, again, I put my opinion on the internet. You don't, right? So I'm not going to apologize for wanting my team to get better. And I don't think Bruce Irvin moves the needle at all. And coming from the Chicago Bears game, we see that the pass rush still needs to be an issue. Now, there are some things that, even though Darius Leonard is still a stud, we can still use his help. He has to clear waivers. Now, check this out. In any other circumstance, I would say he wouldn't clear. But according to Tom Pelissero, it looks like that he just might. Let me show you what I mean. According to Tom Pelissero, he says Shaquille Leonard is making a $15.7 million guaranteed base salary, about $6.1 million for the rest of the season, and has another $6.5 million guaranteed for injury in 2024. So it's hard to imagine he gets claimed. In all likelihood, he'll be a free agent. He'll clear and become a free agent. Sorry about that. So clearing waivers, if he didn't clear waivers or if he went through waivers, the Detroit Lions still could snag him in the waiver wire. They could put in a claim for him. They would get 31st priority. The Detroit Lions are the second best team in the National Football League, only under the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's very unlikely that he will get claimed, or I'm sorry, that he will clear waivers. Now, here's what I don't quite understand, so I'm not going to pretend like I do, is if he does clear waivers, does that change his salary at all? I don't fully understand from this tweet whether or not that means that all of that money is guaranteed. It looks like it is, but so I don't know. But 6.1 is what we would have to be responsible for this year for the rest of the season, including the playoffs. And we would be responsible. The team that claims him off waivers will be responsible for 6.5. So I'm not sure if he becomes a free agent, how that works. Does this go away, or is this redone, or whatever, right? So I don't know. If you know that, let me know in the comment section below. So that's the issue there. But the even bigger issue, in my opinion, is how much the Detroit Lions have available cap space. All right. They have, see right here, we are 27th. There was a point that we were second, third, fourth. We were top 10. For the remainder of the season, and I don't even know if Bruce Irvin is on here, right? I don't even know if he's on part of this $3.8 million. So the odds are very, very low that even if he was to clear waivers, that we would be able to sign him without making some type of clearing, some type of cap space. Now, in addition to that, you might be like, well, okay, what has he done? What is Shaq Leonard done? Okay. Whatever he's done is better than what we have. I'm not going to get off that. Again, Bruce Irvin is not going to. I hope Bruce Irvin gets 6 or 7 sacks. I do, so I can be wrong. I'd much rather be wrong and we're winning games, we win a Super Bowl, than be right and we're a sack away from going to the Super Bowl, right? Chicago Bears, Aleem McNeil got a sack, Hutch got a sack to seal the game, right? Going into, that was game number 4. We got sacks against the Raiders, and then we won another 2 games with no sacks. And until Aleem McNeil sacks in The game on Sunday against the Chicago Bears, we had none. And then Hutch came up clutch at the end of the game. Literally the end of the game. Now, check this out. According to ESPN, right? Dude is 28. He just turned 28. 6'2", 230. He was a second-round pick, early second-round pick, 31st. Really, really close to a first-rounder. Now, you'll see here that he has no sacks on the season. Yeah, so how can he help us with sacks if he has no sacks in the season? His rookie year, 7. Sophomore year, 5. 3. 0 in 2021. He was injured in 2022. I don't know what happened there. In 2023, he has not had any sacks. That doesn't mean he can't get any, right? Now, you have to understand, the way I look at it is this. I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, and maybe I am. Bruce Irvin is 36 years old. He's 36 years old. 3.5 sacks last year. Cool. He probably going to cost a fraction of what this guy could possibly cost. And Shaq Leonard, he did have a back injury that was he got that in 2022, and it was re-aggravated that later in that season. That's why he wind up missing 13 or 14 games, right? I'm like this. I want to get better. I want to move the needle. If Bruce Irvin is, and you're talking about moving a needle. Let's use an illustration. Let's say you're driving and you need gas, right? You need gas. And you're driving so much you don't get gas. Your gas light comes on and you keep driving, right? That needle, then have you ever driven in your car and the needle is exactly lined up with the empty? There's no more room for it to go. I think that Bruce Irvin is the notch right before that. Not 1/4 of a tank, but if you got one of them gas tanks that gives you 3 or 4 notches, a notch in between, Bruce Irvin is the notch right before empty, right? Even with the back injury, I think Shaq Leonard is closer to half a tank than the notch before empty. And when I say notch before empty, I'm not talking about empty notch fourth. I'm talking about empty notch, right? Empty, right flush, notch. For me, Shaq Leonard would be empty, notch, fourth, notch, somewhere in there. He's in between half a tank and that first notch before you get to the fourth. I hope you guys understand the illustration. So he's probably going to clear waivers. Again, I don't know if the next team is going to be responsible for the 6.1. Can that be reworked? I really don't know how the contract situation works. And when you start getting into contracts, it gets a little tough. The thing I'll say is this. Brad Holmes, he likes to bargain shop, right? But he does spend money. Let's not forget that DJ Chark, who played 11 games in 2022, had a guarantee of $10.5 million, right? Now, CJ Gardner-Johnson got 6.5, 8.5. I think 6.5 is guaranteed, something like that. He got his total contract for 1 year is 8.5. So this 6.5, or 6.1, whatever he's guaranteed is nothing. The issue is we don't have it. But we paid for a guy, we guaranteed $10.5 million for a dude that was already injured. So how much different would Shaq Leonard be? That's just my thoughts. Anything to make this team better. You're not going to break the bank. You're not going to cripple the team. Shaq Leonard is not crippling the Detroit Lions. All I hear in this video is, I don't want it to go too far over 10 minutes, but Brad Holmes is not sacrificing the future. Shaq Leonard is not a future sacrifice. Let me make sure. Let me look at what I don't think I had what he was owed for the rest of his money. Okay. But he was waived. So I'm not certain if the Detroit Lions pick up the rest of his contract. The rest of his contract, according to Tom Pelissero, it looks like it's just through 2024. And if that is the case, we have spent more money on things that have not panned out. Let me see. DJ Chark, 10.5, 11 games. he had 500 and something yards, like 503 and 3 touchdowns. What would be the difference? And we signed an injured player. Okay, check. This injured player in DJ Chark went on injured reserve. So let's not act like Brad is, okay, Brad is cheap, but he also makes quite a bit of questionable decisions. I'm not saying that this is questionable. What I'm saying is that even though he's a bargain shopper, he still doesn't have like the best track record. Seems like when you see a guy you should go after, you don't. You want to guarantee money to a guy that's injured. So like I said, when it comes to Shaq Leonard, it's a win-win. I'm trying to go deep in the playoffs. You see what happened yesterday with Kansas City. Chris Jones stayed in the backfield. The very first drive of each team resulted in a sack. Chris Jones had 2 sacks in 1 drive. Shaq could help us because we will always need help. That's not going to change. James Houston is not going to be the difference maker. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So let me know your thoughts. I already know it's not going to happen, but we had to talk about it. I'm looking to make this team better without sacrificing the future. And if you tell me that 10.4 next or 6.4 next year, when we're going to have almost $70 million of cap space, fine. Sign me up. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. It's depressing, man. It really is. Like looking at our pass rush is depressing. So I will holler at y'all later.